This case has been discussed a lot in the last 10 years. It's one of the first big deal cases I've ever covered, and I'm not bringing it up because I want to rehash the same thing you've already heard, but because I genuinely find it interesting, and I do want to inform people who may not know about the strange and mysterious death of Elisa Lam. And who knows, you might even learn something new. Elisa Lam was a student of the University of British Columbia. A daughter of Hong Kong immigrants, Elisa moved to Vancouver, Canada, and opened her own restaurant in Burnaby. Not a stranger to traveling alone, Elisa wanted to get away and explore the West Coast. So, on January 26, 2013, she arrived in LA. She had taken the Amtrak train from San Diego and was on her way to Santa Cruz when she chose to stay at the Cecil Hotel. The Cecil opened in 1927 as a business hotel in downtown Los Angeles. It has a reputation about it nowadays. Some would say it's dangerous, sketchy. Don't go there, you'll get killed. But why? Well, during the Great Depression in the 30s, the area where the Cecil Hotel is located began to decline, causing more violence and self-inflicted death. The first reported death was 1931, when a guy named W.K. Norton died in his room after taking poisonous capsules. Throughout the 40s and 50s, more of these self-inflicted deaths occurred at the dilapidated hotel. Not only this, the hotel had become notorious for being the rendezvous spot for adulterous couples, drug activity, and ladies of the night. Sounds like just the best place for a vacation. The hotel has even had its celebrities, because in 1947, Elizabeth Short, known as the Black Dahlia, was seen drinking at the hotel's bar just days before her untimely and unsolved demise. In 1964, a retired telephone operator named Pigeon Goldie Osgood, a long-term resident at the hotel, was found dead in her room. The man charged with her murder was later cleared, and still it goes unsolved. The hotel's most infamous resident in the 80s was a man named Richard Ramirez, who was rumored to be a serial killer called the Night Stalker. But we're in luck, because he's not the only serial killer who stayed there. Austrian Jack Unterweger stayed at the Cecil in 1991, where he strangled at least 3 prostitutes to death. After his conviction, he kindly went and hanged himself. Cecil, my guy, get nuked. In 2013, the Cecil, probably due to the horrific reputation, rebranded itself as Stay on Main. Although it kept its original signage, it just painted advertisements on the outside. Now we're up to date with the arrival of Elisa Lam, so let's get back to her story. Now Elisa contacted her parents every day. They were concerned for her well-being as she liked to travel alone in new unfamiliar cities. This is why it was particularly odd when they hadn't heard from her on January 31st, the day she was supposed to check out of the Cecil. Concerned, her parents contacted the Los Angeles police, and the search for Elisa began. When they got there, she was indeed missing. The hotel staff reported seeing her that day and said she was alone. Outside, a bookstore manager, Katie Orphan, was the only person to claim to have seen her. Katie described Elisa as outgoing, very lively, and friendly. They had met when Elisa bought gifts to take home to her family. She spoke about the books she was getting and whether or not they were going to be too heavy for her to carry around as she traveled. Police searched Elisa's room and throughout the building, including the rooftop, accompanied by dogs, but were unable to find anything that could help them locate the missing girl. 2 weeks after her missing date, the police released the infamous surveillance video that showed her last known location and actions in the Cecil elevators. This is what launched her case into the public's attention, because her actions in the elevator are beyond strange. Once Elisa enters the elevator and presses what looks like more than one button, the elevator never moves, the doors never close, and Elisa starts acting paranoid. She tries to hide from some unseen person outside the elevator before pressing every button to no avail. We then see this strange conversation with no one she has outside the doors before she vanishes from sight, and only then the elevator doors start to work again, taking it to every floor she pressed. That's odd, but don't worry, it gets worse. During the search for Elisa, guests of the Cecil were starting to report some annoyances. They complained of low water pressure, and soon after, black water with an unusual taste. An investigation of one of the 4,000-gallon tanks on the roof solved both of these mysteries, because there, they found Elisa's body. According to a statement by the chief of the Los Angeles Fire Department, the tank had to be drained and cut open from the side to remove her body. Her clothes were found floating next to her, along with her room key and a watch. So we know where Elisa ended up, but how and why did this happen? This is where the theories started to form. The elevator video had people talking this case to death, no pun intended. Some argued that she was attempting to hide from some unseen pursuer, but no one else was seen around her or the elevator that day. Some want to believe it's a demon or a ghost that's haunting Elisa and causing the elevator to malfunction right when she needed it. It's important to note that Elisa was clinically bipolar, and it's possible that what we're witnessing in the video is a psychotic attack. According to the Mayo Clinic, a person with bipolar disorder who's experiencing a manic episode may experience euphoria and have a diminished ability to make healthy decisions. Mania can also lead to hallucinations, delusions, and even strange body movements. But how did she get onto the roof and into the large water tank by herself? Ideally, a guest wouldn't be able to get onto the roof without triggering a fire alarm. That is, if she went the obvious route to the roof. 3 fire escapes would have allowed Elisa onto the roof without triggering such an alarm. And what about getting into the tank? Did she climb onto it and pull the hatch open by herself to jump inside? When an employee discovered Elisa's body, he found the hatch had been open, so it's possible that this was a case of incompetence on the hotel's part. Whether she accidentally fell in after climbing onto the tank or she got in on purpose, we don't know. Toxicology reports didn't find drugs or alcohol in her system, so we can rule out the possibility that she was drunk or on something that made her do this. One more element that I think is more interesting than a piece of the puzzle here is the chilling similarities this case has to the 2005 horror movie remake Dark Water. A malfunctioning elevator, a body in the hotel water tank, and of course, dark water are all present in both of these stories. I think it's just a coincidence that this movie called The Future, but it's eerie nonetheless. The true reason behind Elisa Lam's death will forever be lost to whatever she was dealing with that day. She was distraught, looked afraid, and possibly battling demons of her own. But what we do know is that she loved her family, and they certainly loved her back. Gone but not forgotten, taken too soon in a place no one deserves to die. Get nuked, Cecil. A special thanks to Rob Sheehan for your generous donation. If you like the Holder or SCP series, consider becoming a patron because they get one exclusive video a month that nobody else gets. If not, your comment, your subscription, your like is just as good to me. Until next time, be well.